Hey, what's up, gang? Beautiful Wednesday morning, 20 degrees, freezing our buns off here in New Jersey. Just continuing our thoughts on leadership and accountability as we kind of transition into the new year. It's always a great time when you transition into the new year for any business to kind of reset the bar, reset your metrics, and reset your accountability chart with all your employees. You know, it's really smart to have a year-end meeting and schedule, 15 to half-hour meetings with each one of your key employees, managers, your direct reports, depending on what the structure of your business looks like. And probably a good idea to do that at least once a quarter, but especially on the new year when we talk about resetting our accountability charts and, kind of looking at the roles and duties and responsibilities of all your employees and kind of reorganizing the thought process as to what they do, how they do it, when they do it, and how you're going to metric the work that's being done. That's super important. So everybody has a number and everybody has, kind of some realistic goals to aim towards. If you just say, hey, do this every day, but you don't give them any real parameters, deadlines, and or numbers to shoot for, it just becomes a situation where most people are just spinning their wheels trying to figure out what they're supposed to be doing all day and just staying busy, right? And like we always say, never mistake activity for achievement, right? You stay busy doing a whole lot of nothing. Okay, so one of the most important things that we talked about is, living by our core values. And core values are such a catchy thing nowadays that you could look up core values anywhere on the internet and get a million different ideas as to what they are. But what I have found is, a lot of businesses have set their core values, but they have not clearly defined what those core values mean when it comes to their employees and or their clientele. And what exactly does the core value translate to into action for your employees and into a particular type of person that you can identify as, let's call it your ideal client or avatar, to focus your energy on trying to acquire as clients. An example with us at Varsity House, right? Our core values are hungry, humble, and committed to excellence. And at face value, they're just a bunch of, catchy slogans that you might find on the wall of any high school gym or any, college gymnasium or weight room. But what gives it meaning, what gives it poignancy is the definition and how it translates to action as an employee. And we have clearly outlined, what it means to be hungry. That was a combination of hungry and humble. But what it means to be hungry, humble, and committed in terms of action. So an example being hungry is always willing to step up for the team and take on extra work. Now, I don't mean extra junk work, but if I have, employees filling in shifts, picking up a class for somebody who's sick, taking on extra projects, always wanting more, always wanting to do better, always wanting to, having a desire and work ethic to put in the time and effort to build yourself up, to build the brand up, to build your abilities up, right? To me, that's what's being hungry, right? And we'll clearly write those out as to what they mean in terms of action. Okay, humble, right? Doing it for the team, putting your own self wants and needs aside sometimes, for the betterment of the brand and the company and the team, right? And always doing what's right for the team first. All right, and committed. Our whole thing is education. If you're not committed to educating yourself and seeking out knowledge, you're falling behind. So always on the cutting edge of strength science, always on the cutting edge of business and running the operational side of things, and always committed to bettering yourself as a person, whether it's communication skills, speaking skills, interpersonal relationships, dealing with clients, dealing with your loved ones, especially rebuilding your relationships at home and things like that are equally as important as anything you do X's and O's and training wise. Once you get better as a person, a lot of things just start to fall into place. So how does that translate into business? Well, you're gonna hire your core values, right? I'm gonna look for people that I feel give me the clues of being hungry, humble, and committed. I'm gonna fire my core values if you do not live up to those core values, or I constantly see you're calling out sick, or when I ask you to cover for somebody, it's a no, or you're selfishly, taking time and doing things for yourself. All right, or you lack of education, you lack of progression, lack of getting better, right? Those are fireable offenses in my gym, right? We're gonna reward our core values. When I see somebody living the core values, I make sure to make a point. It might even be a financial reward. When I sit down and do a quarterly or yearly review with people, it's, hey, have you lived the core values? Have you lived the code? Okay, and it's like easy, yeah, sure, hungry, humble, and committed. Yes, here's examples of where I saw you being hungry, humble, and committed. We're gonna review those core values, okay, and we're gonna recognize the core values. Every team meeting, I try to make point of at least one of our coaches and or a client that I saw, living our core values, and I'll give an example and tell the team how, that's being hungry, that's being humble, right? That's being committed. So once you clearly set your core values and you use them as an ethos to live by, and once you get your team on board and all of a sudden they start to speak, act, and live a certain way, that's when you have a strong culture, and your core values have transcended a bunch of words on a wall to a culture of people who are like-minded, who are working towards a similar goal, and who are attracting other people with similar mindsets, actions, and moralities. And that's the uniqueness of every single individual business and every single brand that has a great set of core values and is working towards building a really great and strong culture. All right, remember, your culture is how you and your employees, your leadership team, and everybody all the way from the top to the bottom, how they interact, how they work with each other, how they speak to each other, and that translates greatly into how they act and speak and interact with your clientele, because your number one client is your employees, and they should be your number one focus. If you take great care of your employees, they will in turn take great care of your clients, and everybody's going to be happier, right? So happy employees equals happy clients equals a happy business and a strong culture that you could be proud of. Okay, so when I work with gym owners who tell me that they've had a lot of trainers leave, or they've had a lot of administrative changes and things like that, I start to question the leadership first. What's the culture look like? Where are the core values at? What's the mission, right? Have you clearly given everybody direction and accountability, okay? So for 2019, gang, let's focus inward, right? Let's focus inside the four walls of your gym. Focus on each and every one of your employees. Spend quality time with each one of them. Talk to them, pump them up, tell them how great they are, tell them what a great job they've done, right? Tell them how much you care about them. Tell them how much they've added value to the business, right? Get them up over the bar, right? Give them real action plans to follow. Give them real duties to rejoice in the fact that they have something that they can put their thumb on and say, man, I helped create something great here. Okay, that's the real key to success. That's the real key to building a great culture, right? And that's focusing on your people. So that's my tip for today. Have a great day, Strength Entrepreneurs.